This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor John Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
There are so many things that we just have in our mind and we assume that they're correct because we've heard them 100,000 times. We got to get rid of all those myths. If you've done a great job saving, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish when you use the right strategies. Most people just aren't aware of them.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
So people that have sacrificed opportunities to spend money, they sacrificed by putting the money in that 401k. They've sacrificed by putting that money in a 529 college plan for their grandkids. Those types of sacrifices should go rewarded in the long run.
John is here to help you find solutions for your retirement.
Do you see my face? Do you see my face right now? I don't know if I'm going to cough or sneeze or hack a lung up. Whatever is going on in the Ohio River Valley is totally messing with my system. I got awesome sleep last night, by the way. And I don't know what's going on with me. There's not a medication that fixes whatever this Kentucky funk.
I've had February allergies in a weird way this year myself. I don't understand what's happening. It's like,
It's because it was 70 on Monday and it was 64 on Valentine's Day this past week.
Yeah.
Whatever the nonsense is, like this is messing with my system.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to look to Pfizer to fix this problem for me. I think that they have done quite enough at this point. I'm not going to say that what I have right now is not a side effect of something else. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I don't know. So when you keep looking at me funny like this, I just want you to know I don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's about to come out of your face. But you just want me to be prepared for it by that.
Yes.
Look.
I don't know what's going to happen.
When I do, because, we don't have the visual effect here on the radio, but when I say, when you have that, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. So
I got the twitch in my right eye. It's the whole thing. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't control it though. It's an involuntary reaction. It's like every time that Janet Yellen used to speak. It was an involuntary reaction.
No.
My eye would twitch, and I didn't know if I was going to cough or sneeze or just be mad.
Let's not go down that path.
Yeah, because now both eyes are twitching.
Both eyes are twitching.
Okay.
Let's bring it on back to the conversation that we like to have here on the radio.
I just need to get rid of the anxiety. That's what I need to get rid of.
That's good luck with that, because in this world of 2023, it is impossible to do so. And that's actually what we want to talk about, is the anxiety in the world that I am sorry to say to you, John, that you live in and day out. Because
are you going to start talking about safe places?
Maybe.
Okay.
Listen, we all need one.
Bring it on.
Maybe J. Hagan Capital is the new safe place for our financial anxieties. This recent study out of George Washington University reveals 60% of U.S. adults have experienced anxiety just by the thought of their finances. Just thinking about it triggers anxiety for the majority of us.
Okay.
One therapist believes that a lot of that may be deeply tied to your childhood experiences with financial stability, and that can result in to where you may be right now, holding on to excess money due to fear. John, I know this is something you have seen people come into your office with, particularly of a certain age and generation. They've gotten to retirement. The job, income, paychecks has stopped, and now they are clutching onto those savings, riddled with fear. How do we begin to ease this anxiety that so many folks face with their money and give them confidence to start spending all that money they work so hard to earn and save?
Yeah, so I think there's a few things, and I think this study is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because, 60% of adults experience anxiety thinking about finances. See, I think that is a wrong statistic.
Yeah, they're 40%.
I think it's much higher. I think like 80%.
I would say,
because I'm in this industry. I basically counsel people on their personal finances every day and have for almost 25 years. The crazy thing is there are some days and some times and some months where even when I'm thinking about, oh man, how much do I have to pay for high school next year for this one? Or, oh my gosh, what do I need to set aside for college for the little one? Or holy moly, what was that property tax bill for this? There's any given day when I get anxiety thinking about it. So I think that if 40% said they don't experience anxiety, they're not being honest with themselves, or at least they're not being honest to this study.
Survey area.
Yeah. Now, a secondary part of that, though, and I completely disagree with this part, is that this therapist thinks that there is a correlation between your anxiety and how you felt as a child. That's bull crud right there. Let me tell you why. When I was a kid growing up outside of Owensboro, Kentucky, we had no money whatsoever. I mean, literally, my dad was a small town attorney, and most people paid us equivalently now of what you'd call the barter system. They didn't have any money if they needed to keep Cletus's cows off their property or replace the easement issues or deal with some drunk idiot that ran their 1979 Chevy Silverado into their field.
Right.
No, they had to pay my dad, not in money, but in homemade apple pies and bush hogging our property and things like that. Yeah. So when I was a kid, we had no money. And here's the thing is like, I knew no difference. I knew zero difference. I had shoes on my feet. Thank goodness. My mom was a teacher. My dad somehow always made it work, even though if it was miraculous or frankly, a couple of times we learned as I was an adult, he had to take loans from his parents because they had great pensions. Go figure, right? And I didn't know that as a kid. So I disagree with a therapist that these come from experiences of financial instability. Guys, what it comes down to is financial life is very complicated and it's crazy every day, especially in this day and age. Every corner you turn, boom, there's another bill for this. Boom, there's a subscription cost for that. Bang, this just increased. Holy moly, I didn't even think about taxes about that. Hold on. How do I even make sure my 401k is in the right stuff? These are the things that surround us every single day. And it does cause anxiety. And here's the problem. And here's where I know that this study is kind of very relevant, regardless of what I think about the therapist.
Okay.
It's very relevant because when we get anxious, guys, when we get nervous, when we get frustrated, when we get scared, we often make really poor decisions. And it's not just because of finances. It's anything, right?
Right.
Fight or flight is just that human nature instinct where we're either willing to dig our heels in and roll up the sleeves and take on everything comes to us, or frankly, that anxiety gets the best of us and we duck and cover and run. And often that is kind of the exact wrong time. So we talked about Jeremy Siegel saying that, hey, we may be due for recession if the Fed keeps doing this. And sadly, the Fed has said, we're going to keep doing this.
Right.
So we need to understand a recession is probably on the horizon. And if finances make us uncomfortable, make us get a little, I don't know, we make decisions that we wouldn't otherwise, maybe you need to run your finances by a skilled fiduciary advisor. And why do I say that? Because number one, there's any number of people that are willing to take your money and put you in junk investments. Now, we're not talking about those folks. We're talking about a skilled fiduciary.
Can we pause on that statement? That is
so important.
That is such a frustrating thing that just came out of your mouth, John. There's any number of people that are willing to put your money in junk investments. Awesome.
Well, I hate the fact that not everyone in this industry, not everyone that does what we try to do every day, they're not held to the same standard. And unfortunately, and I'm not going to call anyone out, but over 90% of the financial services community is out there to sell you a suitable product. In our firm, that is not at all, not even remotely close to what we want to do. Right. We want to solve our clients' issues. We want to make certain that anxiety does not get the best of them at the wrong times. It has nothing to do with a product. It has to do with a process on how do we discover what we need to do with our money to hit those goals. And it's so crazy because when you look at the fiduciary standard, it is pretty simple. It means that in my firm, I have to put our clients' interests at all times above our own. So as a practitioner or as a firm, we need to make sure that what the advice we're giving you is the best of our ability based on our skill set and what we can do. So not only do you want a fiduciary advisor, you want a skilled one. Now, I don't say lightly the fact that I've been to school for a long time, although I have been to school for a very long time. And the whole part is that skill, right? In our firm, we have experts in taxation. That's not just me. In our firm, we have experts on money management. That's not just me. In our firm, we have experts on tactical, safe investments, which isn't necessarily me. And so when we think about these things, we have built a team at our firm so that the advice we're giving our clients is to do one thing and one thing only. Hit their goals and get rid of a lot of that anxiety. Because what we have found over the years is that people make, unfortunately, really poor decisions when they feel backed into a corner. Or they feel like it's either fight or flight, or they just don't know and they can't get good answers, especially if the markets aren't going our direction, right? So the one thing to understand about this study, and I think it's very realistic that we can learn something from this, whether or not you feel anxious about finances, it might be a good time if you're within 3 to 5 years of retirement or you're already retired. This is a really good time to start thinking, hey, let's go ahead and take an inventory of where you are in your life just to verify, hey, are you on that right path or not? Because let's assume that Jeremy Siegel earlier is correct. Let's assume that not only is it anxiety, but there's a reason for it. Maybe we do go into a real recession, right? Or maybe we have 2 more really uncomfortable years like 2022. Mm-hmm. Can you weather that storm and still hit your goals? It is a great time. Hearing this article, it's a great time to consider if you're going to get a second opinion, who should you get it from? In my opinion, fiduciary only and skilled. And as long as you have the same philosophy as that advisor, you're probably not going to get bad information. And here's the point, whether you choose to hire them or not.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with John Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with John and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to John's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Inc. is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. It does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Jonathan Hicks, insurance license number 548962.